Hi, so my name's Andy, and I wanted to do a video because this is my first venture being a CEO and starting my own startup company with my own product. The reason I wanted to do this, whether I share this or not, is to give my own, track my own process through this and also give a very uncensored, this is what it's like to go from here's an idea that I've had or that I have that I think is great, and I want to, how do I get from having an idea to having an actual product that doesn't look like something I made in my garage to packaging and shipping and all those things. Because when you search online for a lot of these things, and most everything, even business owners, when I was setting up like business bank accounts, where there were service businesses, or the biggest thing is everyone wants to be a YouTube star, or they want to sell education or software. Not very many people you'll meet, even in my own network, that I know had actually put a product on the shelf where they made something. So it was hard, to reach out to that. So doing that myself, I thought this could be really useful for people possibly in the future, or this could turn out to be a disaster, and you could see this is why a lot of people don't do it. In my experience, which is very limited, I mean, I've done service things and I've done sales for decades now, but I think everybody has that idea. Everyone says you got to have that $1 million idea, and the truth is I've had this idea for a decade, but having an idea doesn't really do anything for you. You actually have to do something with it, and you have to just kind of make the leap, because a lot of the things with packaging and prototyping and building product and shipping and how do I price my product, how do I get it into stores, that's new. It's not something you'll really learn in school. You kind of just have to take the plunge and learn it, unless you can have a mentor that will do it for you. And a lot of that time when I've researched that is they all basically want to take your business. So you have to be careful who you share your idea with, especially if you're as far as having drawings and things like that. So one thing I wanted to cover that I've at least learned is, we're in the process right now. Today's June 20th, it's 2018. I'm 37 today. Is one thing I've looked in forever was prototyping this product that I've had on my brain for a decade. Is that it's expensive. So how do you spend that money? I said the best thing, at least that's happened with me so far, is that I planned accordingly that this was going to be expensive. I mean, most of the prototyping companies you'll talk to, if it's something small, you're probably at least looking at $25,000, maybe $30,000. Obviously, it can range dramatically. So whether you want to make a new pencil, that probably is a lot less. But if you want to make a new car, that's probably a lot more, and then you have to build parts and everything. So I've tried to save up as much as I could. And I always try to cushion. So I'd say the best thing that I ever did was eliminate all my debt, and then also live, pretty frivolously in all my decisions, so I can develop a cash flow, so I don't risk crippling my entire life and family over doing this project. The other thing is, you're always going to want to overestimate, because people that I have talked to, I've met who went from an idea to a product. They always say, you can never have enough capital. And if you go to other firms and ask for investment banking firms, if they like your idea, they'll say, hey, okay, here's $50,000 or $100,000, but we want to own half your company. And I didn't want to do that, because it's a lot, because you'll do all the work and they'll get half the benefit. So that was the biggest thing, was finding landing myself in a career where I could find extra time without killing myself to do this other side project of starting my own business, but also having a good nest egg, so that I don't cripple myself in the process and start hating this, because if I hate it, then it's probably going to go nowhere. So one thing I would say for sure, when you start, if you are going to develop like a physical product, you're at least going to have to get drawings or a physical prototype, depending on what it is. You can, I've had suggestions of saying, go to just, you can just Google if you're near, a major city, or you could find some just to do product design. Just look up like product design or rapid prototyping or anything. The biggest thing I'd say is when you call a few of them, and see what they do, because a lot of them maybe specialize in like metal cutting or fabrics or something or other. So they may not be the right people for you. So you're gonna have to do some searching. I would ask, who are your references? What other projects have you done? Um, yeah, let me see. Do you have any experience in shipping or dealing overseas? Because when you choose a development company, you're not only choosing them to do CAD drawings and where can I source materials from, but you're buying their whole network. So find someone who's, if you're making like for an R6 we're doing travel material. So we asked, have you done anything in travel? And some companies say no, but it sounds interesting. I mean, that's probably not who you want to go with. I would search around a little bit and say, and we found someone said, oh yeah, well, we've worked with people that have done, we've done travel bags for some of the major companies. We do console work for them. So that was kind of a no-brainer, because they'd already done things that were semi-similar, and they did, a broad range of anything. So say you want combine like two technologies, maybe someone that does both. But really, like I said, you're paying for their service, you're paying for the prototype, the drawings, but you're also paying for their network of people. So do they know how to manufacture? Do they know how to box? How many of their customers have run successful businesses from basically having an idea to going all the way to now we have a product that we sell? The other one is you're going to want your NDAs on file. That's probably more important than anything. And any good design firm will have copies of that. If they don't, that's a big red flag of one that their customers use. So that's just a non-disclosure saying, okay, I'm going to share you my idea that I have. Maybe here's like a slideshow that I made, some cheap drawing that I made of here's ideas, because it's their idea, their job to make that come to life for you and all of that. So obviously have that, check the references. A lot of them will do product research and break down competitors apart, but also look at their relationships. Like, who do they know in this field for manufacturing? What do they know about if you have to source parts from out of the country? How do you do that? And get not just your budget for the prototype, but okay, let's say this prototype looks great. We want to make it. What do you know about the cost of manufacturing? And can you help me there? Because I didn't have a lot of contacts in that space. The other one is, like I said, it was funding. The biggest thing I did was I started making my own nest egg and tried to cut my own spending. So, this wouldn't cripple me if I liquidated a bunch of, savings. I know that's not the case, which is part for most people, which is why it's a big reason why it's taken me so long to do this. I think that's the number one reason. I think is one, the risk, the finances. Once people, talk to a prototyping firm and find out it's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to build a prototype, and then just the know-how. Like, people don't know how to do it. They don't know where to go. It's like you're trying to climb Everest. You're like, I don't know how to make a prototype. I don't know how to make anything that looks professional. I don't know how to package. I don't know how to ship. I know nothing about dealing with, China or some of these Taiwan or any of these countries, let alone distribution. And okay, now I have to sell this. How do I do that? So that'd be the biggest. So as of right now, at this point, like I said, it's the 20th of June. I've met with our firm that I've sourced out and did a lot of research on them and checked references on them. I called a lot of people that they worked with, and I learned a lot from those people. People that had developed products before me, they've learned tons of lessons on distribution. Some of them had launched products for other companies, but this was their first journey doing something on their own, completely on their own. So we've met with our design team. Obviously, they're going to, and I am the sole person doing all this. I'm sure at some point I may get a partner, but just if anything for funding or my own sanity. But we have a couple meetings. This is our idea. We're going to do a couple drawings and we're going to see how it goes. And hopefully I'll send a good update as this goes along. All right. Thank you so much. Again, it's Andy. And hopefully, my goal here is just to give a very uncensored, this is what's going on in my own experience of trying to go from idea to a product. All right. Thanks.